Welcome to Brother TTV. Gilbert Arenas made a comment on the Ja Morant suspension during an interview stating that it was unfair. Finally, Gilbert Arenas has said something that follows some sort of logic. Probably 1 out of the 10 things that he says on his show actually is logical. So let us listen to what Gilbert has to say, and we're going to come back and make a comment.
A lot of people still obviously talking about Ja Morant and the fallout. Finally, we learned what the suspension is going to be. Ultimately, the NBA and Adam Silver decides to give him 25 games. I guess just starting right there, Gilbert, you've had people who have said it's too harsh. You've had people who have said it's not enough. From your standpoint, what do you think?
It's too harsh. And here's the reason. The NBA gun suspensions, the actual gun suspensions has only been 1, 3, and 7 games, right? 7 games has been the biggest that was a gun being fired in the crowded place.
Yeah.
Now, the suspensions like me and what Ja got is not related to gun, it's related to behavior, which is conduct detrimental, which has no number. It can be from 1 to 82 games, depending on how they feel in that moment, that's the unfair part. Like, I would rather just take the gun suspension.
Right. Yeah, much less games, yeah.
Give me 3, 7 games. So you're punishing him, but you're not actually punishing him for the actual crime he has committed. Now you're going off of public perception, which is the unfair part.
It is interesting, Gilbert, right? Because then when you look at, okay, hey, this guy, Ja, was in Tennessee. He didn't break any laws as far as I know. I've heard people say, hey, why is he even being suspended?
It's public perception. The public wants him to be stopped. So now the NBA comes in and say, all right, we have to make it look reasonable, right? Where if you just say, hey, wait, he hasn't broken in a law, then you're like, well, he's an NBA player. He needs to be a role model, right? Then you start tapping into that. Now it's uncharted territories where, all right, 25 games, where the NBA Association is like, wait, hold on. What did he do again? Oh, because he made himself look bad? That's not 25 games because he made himself look bad. This is self-inflicted, right?
Yeah.
Self-inflicted means he's already lost. He lost what? Powerade? Yeah. That's a fine. Powerade fined him, right? His shoes, they took his shoes away. Well, they brought him back. The NBA, he hasn't broken a crime for you to step in. He's already taken L's. He's taken L's on his public image. He's taken L's on his public outside of the NBA corporations, right? So he's being punished for what he did. NBA, you can't step in until an actual crime has been committed. And now you're coming in and trying to make the rioters and the public feel happy about what you're doing, which is the unfair part. I'm pretty sure they're going to fight it. And it'll be probably 10, 15 games.
Out of all the people that had some type of stance on what took place with Ja Morant, actually are in support of Ja Morant. Most of the people totally condemn Ja Morant for a simple misconduct, not a crime, not some type of crime that is caused some type of victim to have some type of loss or injury or loss of life or property, but simply by making a video. Now they want to suspend Ja Morant $30 million for posting a video of him acting with a gun. Not using a gun, but acting with a gun. Waving it around in a jovial type of manner or in a joyful type of manner. So they say that is so offensive that they are going to charge him $30 million, and people are rooting on this suspension and this fine. This is utterly ridiculous. It's totally insane. It doesn't follow any logic whatsoever. It's on the borderline of being demonic. Where you want to cause somebody some type of extensive loss or injury, whether physical or financial, for something minimal. And most people have the unmitigated gall to cheer on what is taking place. How many would do this to their sons if they grew up to have some type of profession and say, okay, he should be fined $30 million for waving a gun on a video? How does that make sense? They say the NBA has some type of morality clause. Okay, if you want to be moral and act like you want to have a righteous conduct, if that's your mentality, why not have a class for the man? Send him to a proper conduct class or firearms etiquette class. Since you want to say that you want to be so moral, but in the NBA's hypocrisy, the same songs that talk about committing violence against black people are played in the NBA arenas, full blast. But they say, oh, John Moran's conduct is immoral, or that's not proper conduct. This is hypocritical. When you have 85 to 90% of people in this country are involved in some type of immoral conduct, immoral language every day. Yet they want to charge this young man as if he's some high priest or pastor over a church. Harriet Tubman had to convince black people in slavery that they were actually slaves. She had to hold some of them at gunpoint to make them go free, to convince them that they were slaves and to make them go free. She's turning over in her grave. Not turning over in a grave due to the conduct, but turning over in her grave to make sure that her casket is locked. She would be appalled at such ridiculous disposition of the people that are cheering on what is taking place with Ja Morant, because his own people is cheering it on more than anyone else. This is insane. There's no way you can justify a man being fined near $30 million for the type of video that Ja Morant posted on social media. Anyone that think it is either full of self-hatred or they just need a therapist. Thanks for listening. Please post your comments below.